Today we're going to be making some tomato gravy. Starting off with some tomato sausage. Get the grease in my pan and give it some good flavor. I'm going to add just a tablespoon of avocado oil. That's if you've never had tomato sausage. They make it here in Alabama and it is absolutely fantastic. And you can have it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner actually. You can put it on the grill with barbecue. So good. Smoky flavor, but just so good. Once you've had it, there's really no replacing it. Just gonna take the tomato sausage out now. Turn our heat down while we're doing that. I'm going to cool down my skillet for just a second. So I just moved my skillet to the back so I could, anything that popped out, I'm cleaning up so that we don't get a lot of smoke. And then I'll let that cool for just a second and then we'll start the tomato gravy. Okay, the reason I do that because I don't want to burn my flour when I start. So I want my flour to slowly come to a good brown, and you'll see that as we go. We're going to start with some flour, self-rising. Put a good spoon and a half. And we'll see where that is, and we may have to add more. I'm actually going to add just a tiny bit more avocado oil. I need to make a trip to the store and get some more. I'm almost out. Okay, and now, since I've already got this in here now, I'm going to go ahead and turn my burner back up to medium. Oops. Actually, to about a 5. So I'm going to use just that little ratio that I just did. Don't measure a whole lot of things, that just go by look, but I will try to do that for you. You got to cook your flour. If you don't cook your flour, you're going to have, I don't know, a raw taste to me. Okay, I'm going to add just a little bit more oil and a little more flour because I want to make a little bit more. And I'm going to turn that burner up to about a 7, to another half. So that's really 2 of those large spoons of flour. Okay, and that looks about right. And the color is getting really good. Okay, I'm going to stop it about right now. And I'm going to lower my heat to a medium. And I'm going to add in some water slowly. To cool it down. I'm going to add in my tomatoes right now. I've got some Petite diced tomatoes. I'm adding a whole can. And then I'm going to keep stirring. And I'm going to add the rest of my water. And I have about a big quart. And then now I've got time. I can smooth it all out with my whisk. And then I'll turn my heat up just a tiny bit to get a good boil going on. And I just got it on the burner. Gravy is really not hard to make. It just takes a little time. I don't throw it together because if you cook it too fast, to me it don't have the flavor that I like it to have, especially tomato gravy. If you've never had tomato gravy, you should definitely give it a try. Served over biscuits. Some people I've heard serve it over rice, but we serve it over biscuits. Nothing wrong with it either way, but we've always done it over biscuits. Okay, it's cooking nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to add my salt and pepper. You don't need a lot of seasonings for tomato gravy. The tomatoes taste so awesome. I like a lot of pepper in my gravy. you don't like pepper, you don't have to put it, but oh, it makes it. Okay, now we need it to come to a little boil. And then I'll turn it down and just let it simmer. And I'm gonna let it simmer while I make my biscuits, where all the flavors can just meld together. Oh yeah, that's what we want. So now I'm just gonna stir it just to keep it from sticking to the bottom. Using a large cast iron skillet my daughter-in-law bought for me, and I absolutely love it. What we're gonna do now is I've just turned it down to low, and now I'm just gonna let it simmer while I make biscuits. Okay guys, we're gonna begin making our biscuits, and what we're gonna need is about 2 cups of self-rising flour. Just make sure your flour is fresh, that's the main thing. And then I'm gonna use half a stick cubed butter, salted. I use this pastry whisk. It makes it a little bit easier to blend it all together. You just want to make sure all that butter is blended into your flour. That's what's going to make it taste so good. Then you're going to have to come and take it off. So you got to get your hands into it. Some. I don't actually use my hands a whole lot until I start rolling it out. And you don't want to mix it. You're just trying to get the butter blended in there. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some milk. Typically I would use buttermilk, but I don't have any today, so I'm just using regular, actually 2% milk. That's all we ever drink. Okay, and then you're just looking for a certain consistency. Don't want it runny, but you don't want it too thick either. About a cup, I think might be enough. I think that's going to be perfect. So I had 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of milk, and half a stick of salted butter, cubed. Okay, I'm going to stir my tomato gravy. I've been doing that along the way. Looking great. So now I'm going to take some self-rising flour and I'm going to sprinkle it on my counter, my cleaned counter. Just don't want the biscuits sticking to it. So I'm actually going to put it on my hand so that it doesn't stick to my hand too much when I'm putting it out. So I'm actually going to put some flour on both hands and I'm just going to start kneading it a little bit. Starts sticking to you a little bit, then you'll want to add just a little flour to the top where it's not sticking to your hands as you're kneading it. And come in again. Now I'm going to take it and I want to, it was sticking a little bit there, so I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to start rolling it out just a time. Sometimes I use a rolling pin and sometimes I just use my hands. Okay, today I'm going to be using a little jar. My granddaughters like to come over and play kitchen, and so of course I let them and give them all their little things to play with. Well, we misplaced the cutter, so we're going to use this today. So dip it in some flour. And I like small biscuits. I don't know. Some people like big biscuits. I like small biscuits. Okay. And so in the meantime, what I'm going to do here, I've got the oven on 385, and I'm just going to put butter on my bottom of my little pan. It's an iron skillet, but a flat skillet. And then I'm going to start putting my biscuits on it. Touching. Got a lot of biscuits. But they're small, remember that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-roll this and make more biscuits. Same way as we did before. So I'm going to put some more flour here. And then I'm just going to make this come together in a little ball. As much as I can. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. And that's all we're going to do today. Okay guys, I'm stirring my tomato gravy again. Right. Consistency to go over those biscuits. We've got the biscuits here after we cleaned up our mess. And we're going to put them in the oven. Not sure about how long, probably about 15 minutes. But we're going to check them about 10. Guys, we've got some minutes left on them, but they're doing really well. I'm going to add some butter to the tops to make them even more delicious. They look great. Come back in. Okay guys, I just pulled these out of the oven. Look how awesome. Neck of sausage, tomato gravy, and homemade biscuits. Now if my husband was doing this, he would definitely have some scrambled eggs sitting there. But today, we're going to do the 3. Just taste test it. So delicious. Guys, you have to try it.